Hey, boys and girls. So, we are going to continue to learn about plant and animal relationships. And today's lesson, we are going to discover the problem in the reserve. So, our first activity, we are going to be counting trees in the sample study site. So, one way that scientists study habitats is by observing the plants in them over time. So, I hope that you remember from last lesson, we learned about this word observe and observing. Observing means to look at something closely, right? To study it. So, that's what we are helping the scientists do in this lesson. We are helping them to study a small section of the Bengal Tiger Reserve by looking at the plants, and we're going to look at them over time. So let's find out what time period. So, one of the questions that we need to keep in mind is why aren't the new chalta trees growing in the Bengal Tiger Reserve? So, this is one of the questions that we are going to help the scientists with by counting trees. So, we're trying to figure out by counting trees why isn't the chalta tree growing? And because this isn't growing, it's affecting the tigers somehow. So, we're going to figure that out too. So the scientists thought it would be very helpful to give us a key so that we know that these are the trees included in the sample study site. And not only do we know that these are the trees in the sample study site, but that we know that on the map, they're going to be represented by different symbols for each type of tree. So the chalta tree, which is green, is going to have this green dot. The red silk tree, the red dot. The fig tree, they represent the symbol with orange um, flower, and then the sal tree looks like a puffy cloud symbol. So here's the key again on this map, and this one includes the same information that we just read, only they have included this little square here that says the open space and grasses, and then another beige square that says shrubs and bushes and small plants. So those are the smaller things like bushes than trees. So these are the two maps that are showing the Bengal Tiger Reserve sample study site at 2 points in time. So this one is showing the Bengal Reserve in 1995. And then 20 years later, the same, boy, oh boy, sorry about that. The same map, the same site, and the same area, but 20 years later in 2015, or you can say 2015. So, first things first, we need to look at these two maps and think to ourselves, how are the maps the same? So, one thing that I might jot down over here is I can say they are the same because they're the same study site. Or I can say they have the same trees in the areas. And one way that they are different is I can already see from just looking at it, one looks like it's filled with trees and bushes, and the other one looks a little sparse, like there's not a lot of trees in this area. So that's something I can write down as a difference on this slide. So again, I thought it would be helpful for us to look at these maps again, and we're going to use this information to fill out this lovely form right here. I mean, this worksheet. So here is the same map that we had on the last slide, but I just included I included them on this slide so that you don't have to go back and forth. So this is the same 1995, has the same key information. This is the 2015, same key information. And now you can just look at them this way to help you fill out this worksheet. And this worksheet is going to help us organize all the information. So it says counting trees in the sample study site. So your directions today is to use the table. So this is a table. It's a math table. It organizes information, organizes your data. So you're going to use the table to record how many of each type of tree was growing in the Bengal Tiger Reserve sample study site in 1995 and in 2015. So if we were looking at, for example, the Chalta tree, we are going to look at the first map from 1995, which is here, and we are going to count all of the Chalta trees. So remember, you can look at the key here and see that the chalta tree symbol is green. So we're only counting all of the greens. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here on the worksheet in this column, I can put 8 because there are 8 that I counted. And now I'm going to look at the number of trees, number of childhood trees in 2015. So I have to look at this map down here. And remember, the childhood trees are the green symbols. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 childhood trees in the Bengal Tiger Reserve in 2015. You're going to again do that for the fig. So you're going to go to the map in 1995, count the fig trees and put them here. And then you're going to look at the 2015 map and you're going to count the fig trees and put that number here. Do it again for the red silk and the sal tree. So once you finish filling out your table, you're going to then go down to these 2 questions and you're going to use the information to answer it. So how did the number of trees, so all of the trees, change from 1995 to 2015? So just try to answer it by talking about any changes that you notice in numbers. So did the number of trees change for every kind of tree from 1995 to 2015? And how do you know? So again, this is where you can use your table, you can use the information from the maps that you notice, and do your best to answer this question. You have to answer them in a complete sentence with a capital letter and a period on both of these questions. And then lastly, you're going to come to this question and you're going to help to try to answer it today. So you're going to take a really good educated guess on this question here. How could the number of childhood trees have stayed the same? So again, you can go back to your chart, your table, and you can use this information because remember we counted that the childhood trees in 1995 were 8, and then again in 2015 they were 8 as well. So, how could that have happened? How could 20 years go by without any new childhood trees? So, why don't you use the information that you see on the map and that you put in your table to help you answer this question? Okay, boys and girls, so we are at the end of our lesson, and I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any more concerns, or you're just confused, or need some help, just leave them in the comments section of this assignment, and your teacher will get back to you. Okay, boys and girls, take care.